Clay O'Connor, the chair of Broken Hill Prospecting, and I noticed a few of the directors of Broken Hill Prospecting here tonight as well. So welcome all, and also welcome to Steve Radford, who's come a long way tonight to join us from Broken Hill. Let me thank also Tesla for hosting the event. We certainly have appreciated their ongoing support. And I noticed quickly that Tesla now has a homegrown Australian at the helm, with one of our own, Robin Dilholm, being appointed as the chairman of Tesla in the last 48 hours. And she's had a very successful career to date, spanning accounting, automotive, telecoms and IT. So good luck to her at the helm of her new business. What I'd like to do in the first instance is talk about Thackeringa and its history, and impress upon you that Thackeringa actually has a very long dated mining history. The first silver mined back in 1883. Now let's think about how long ago that actually was. 1883 was a heck of a long time ago. And I think as Australians, we best put things through a sports lens and try and identify what sporting events happened that far back. So let me ask you a question. What comes to mind back that far in time in 1883? Does anyone ponder a guess as to what significant events occurred in sport? You won a motorcycle, did you say? The action. Yeah, exactly. You know, I was expecting Craig to put his hand up there, but he's too much of a gentleman. In fact, in 1883, the English cricket team was presented a rather small urn containing the ashes of a cricket bar. Somewhat quirkily, I'd like to see that urn in the near term, but I don't know if that's possible or not, but we'll see. But in 1883 also was the year before the Wimbledon tennis tournament was established, the year before Lord's was played, Test cricket was played at Lord's, so it was a long, long time ago. Yet, as long ago as that was, the world had already seen its first electric vehicle. By the 1880s, the French had already invented an electric vehicle. Gustave Courbet had fitted a Siemens rechargeable battery onto the frame of a large tricycle, and voila, the world's first electric vehicle, which he branded under his home brand, Eureka. Internal combustion engines weren't even a twinkle in Carl Benz's eye back then. So you're right in asking the first question, what was missing in the 1800s that, given the start that EVs had and the promise they had, they didn't just go ahead and become the transport of choice? And the answer is very simple. The world didn't have national power grids. And without a power grid, you can't charge phones. So the first coming of EVs was very short-lived. Let's fast forward now our history to the early 1990s, when Panasonic commercialised the first lithium-ion batteries. Now, the first rollout of those batteries was typically and those of you over 40 would remember these, the personal digital assistants, if you remember those back in the 90s with the little stylus and the green screens. They ultimately morphed into larger tablets and ultimately into laptops, which we have today. But as exciting as the growth rates were, they were very small batteries. What's happened in the last 20 years has been a phenomenal growth by two new technologies. Firstly, energy storage devices, the ability of households to store their own power and use it when they want. And Andrew talked about solar shifting earlier. Or the ability of entire grid systems to store power for stability, for frequency response, and other economic benefits. The second phenomenon is what I call the second coming of the electric vehicle. And from 1997 onwards, with the introduction of the Toyota Prius, the first hybrid, we've seen a constant take-up of electric vehicles globally. But even as exciting as that history has been looking backwards, today electric vehicles only occupy about 2% of the global car stock. So only 2% of the cars you see going past in the street are in any way electric, even less in Australia. That's a more global number. So the future is very, very strong indeed for EVs, and it's that future that Cobalt Blue is focused upon. A clean energy future that allows consumers and society to use power when and where they want. Our strategy is to produce a battery-ready product. Now just imagine that for a moment, a tiny Aussie company producing a world-class product, bypassing the entire refining industry that has been established for over 50 years. and selling our product straight to a battery maker. Selling it straight into a precursor market with a strong partner by our side. Our commercial partner, LG, is a significant investment house and battery maker in their own right. We're excited for them to be our partner. Cobalt Blue remains the only cobalt development company in the world where LGI has taken a direct investment, which has resulted from hundreds and hundreds of hours of due diligence, technically and commercially. It's an awesome achievement to have a world-class big brother on our side, and we look forward to our journey with them. Of all of the uses of cobalt, our focus is on the cobalt sulfate product, which is the single fastest growing segment. Forecasts indicate a 3 to 4-fold growth in that market in the next 10 years alone. And that's our focus. There is some negative talk in the market about eliminating cobalt from a battery, so-called cobalt-less batteries. But let's think about that for a moment. Cobalt plays no part in delivering power to and from a battery. I haven't misspoken there, I'll say that again. Cobalt plays no part in delivering power to and from a battery. Instead, it provides stability in the cathode, which is one of the two electrodes. The cathode works under tremendous stress, and it's the glue, the cobalt is the glue that keeps it all together. And as a simple analogy of what cobalt does in batteries today, cobalt is to a battery what cement is to concrete. A builder can build all sorts of concrete pylons and put a block of units on top of them, and then decide, well, that cement's pretty expensive, let me just take some of that back from the concrete. There's a point at which the concrete becomes unstable and it all falls apart. And that's exactly what cobalt does. And those who have tried to thrift cobalt out in the last few years have often led to disaster. You can cast your minds back on some of the products that have caught fire or set off gases in that last period, and it's typically somebody thrifting too much cobalt from the cathode. The Thakaringa cobalt project is a long-life, 20-plus year mine, and our ability to extend the mine life beyond Thakaringa's own resources and into the broader Broken Hill Cobalt District is very, very strong. We're in discussions with neighbours over that tremendous potential, and we look forward to bringing the Thakaringa Cobalt project into production with our JV partners, Broken Hill Prospecting. We also look forward to entering our construction and commission, as well as our production phases, at a time which will be commensurate with tomorrow's electric vehicles, dare I say, coming into their second era of acceptance. And it's a time when electric vehicles will be found predominantly in our own driveways, and electric storage devices will be found powering our homes and lowering society's costs. It's a very exciting future for us and for society as a whole, particularly for an up-and-coming Aussie company which has generated strong local support, political and commercial support. So as exciting as the last 20 months have been, I think the future looks very bright for us indeed. So with that, I thank you and hope you enjoy your review.